Hey guys, Robert and Ingrid here, and we're about to go see Blue Beetle. I've been waiting for this a long time.
Oh, I'm very excited for this. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, and I just gave her some of the trade, and she has flipped through a little bit of it, so she has at least a rough understanding.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yep, so the best thing about Jaime is his family. The family's always been one of the biggest aspects, especially the fact that it's one of the best cases I can think of a modern comic where they decide, screw it, we're not going to keep it secret. He's going to let his family know, and it's not going to cause trouble much. I mean, besides the usual stuff, but for the most part, it's like, no one's hunting down his family until later on, and even then, no, they can handle themselves. And yeah, his dad, his mom, his little sister, they're all awesome. His best friends, awesome. But yeah, so let's see how much they carry over, how much they change, what, and everything to see how good this is going to end up being. See you guys then. Out. Hey guys, Robert and Ingrid here, and it was good.
It was good.
It was fun.
It was
Perfect.
unique.
No, unique. Yeah. How about if there was Shazam?
Yeah, it really feels like that sort of vibe.
Family too.
Family, yes.
But okay, first of all, let me get it out of the way. It's heavy-handed on a lot of the politics, especially in the beginning. The beginning is so front-loaded, it's going to turn some people off. In fact, I'm not going to be surprised if I'm going to see a lot of people trashing it because of that. Would you agree with that? Like, it is.
Yeah.
And let's get this all out of the way. The only white character in here is the villain. I'm sorry, that, given if you know what the scene director stuff online, that's not a coincidence. And she's the weakest part of the movie, unfortunately.
Yeah,
No
she's
characterization.
she's really flat.
She's the only flat character. Everyone, even the other villain, has depth. She's the only one that's flat. And again, I think that's intentional. You know what I mean? It just feels like that's intentional. Like they gave everyone else all this stuff except her, and she's just rich. I guess a rich white woman person who thinks they can get away with stuff because their legacy is their stuff, all that. Okay, let's get that out of the way.
Now let's talk about
That's
everything
just 10%.
else.
That's just 10%.
That is just 10% of the movie. The rest of the 90% is
It's
good
good.
stuff.
The family first.
The family. Oh gosh.
Okay,
they
let's
really nailed it, man.
Jaime was great. He's older in here. He's just out of college. He's not a high school or anything. He's just out of college, which I think works. Unfortunately, we don't have Paco and Brenda here, unfortunately. And Milagro is older. And she needed to be older here. And what I think, did you ever feel a little put off by some of the derogatory humor at the beginning? You know, like just some of the, they got a little dirty and everything, you know, with some of the humor. Okay, but anyway, Margot, she's good. I can't get a beat on her character, really. You know, at the beginning, she's this smart ass. And then by the end, yeah, she's all through all this. But I don't know. Did it feel like there was consistency with her? Or do you think there was a little inconsistency?
I thought the interactions between her and Jaime felt really natural for some interaction.
Oh, that did, yes. I'm just saying with her personality, you don't want to get a beat on what her personality is besides, you know, her age. Again, her character, her personality, though, is good. The actress put in a lot into it. She really stood out. The dad with the heart.
Oh yeah, big time.
This is going to be a spoiler review. He dies of a heart attack, which they set up.
They set up earlier. It's just like, hey, aren't you just getting over having a heart attack? He's just like, oh, I'm fine, I'm feeling good.
Yep, but then once he gets in a stressful situation, and yeah, I'm like, no. And I felt bad. I didn't tear up, but I welled up.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
I did. I certainly welled up a couple of times during this movie.
Now we'll get back to him in a minute, but the mom is just as good as she is in the comics. This hardcore, you know, type of person. And then Nana, from the first couple of movies, she's just there just to be there. Don't even say a word. Did you know that? She rarely said a word. We saw her doing knitting, but then the moment Jaime's abducted, we gotta go get him. And at first we're like, you're just thinking, oh, she'd rally. But then you find out she's had a rebellion. She's been part of a resistance or whatever, her resistance day. We're like, what the hell? Because yeah, we see her with this coat with this big ass gun and everything, and then she just lets the braids of her hair down and just like, yeah, and then she's like, well, I've taken over fortunes like this before. But we're gonna tell you about moms about Nana's revolutionary days. I'm like, what? When we both that way, we were like,
Yeah.
what?
But it doesn't feel like they just pulled it out of their butts.
No, because it's like, how many times do you ever know about that? These quiet old people who actually have this awesome
Who
backstory.
have these insane stories, yeah.
But she did then go a little cuckoo, which we find out where Uncle Rudy gets them up. Rudy, he annoyed me at first. You know what I mean? With this, all of his conspiracy stuff, where they basically let George Lopez go nuts. It was clearly, let's let him improv, and he did his usual shtick. But it felt, partway through, once he had to help out, they flipped the switch. I think that's when they had him stick to the script more, was after he went to help out. Did you get that vibe? Like, it did
Now
feel
that
like
you mention
it
it.
did feel like there was a difference between before they left to help and after. Beforehand, he just kept spouting out the usual George Lopez conspiracy theorist stuff and everything. And did you know that he had a lot less conspiracy theories once they left? Yeah, you still have Batman's a fascist. Oh, context for that line, Batman's a fascist, but that Blue Beetle, he was fun. He was a fun guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that actually gives context beyond, oh, Batman's a fascist.
It's an in-universe kind of opinion.
It's an interviewer's opinion, and it's also the idea of Batman's this hard ass, whereas Blue Beetle, he was the good guy. He was the good egg. That's more what he meant. Okay, but anyway, Jaime has shown up, but he finds out they're losing the house, the shop's closed down because of his dad's heart attack, and he's all like, I'll do anything to help out. And he ends up working at where the Cord's house, help cleaning it. But then when an incident happens, he then meets up with Jennifer, right?
Yeah,
Jennifer. I can't see it was Jennifer or Jessica.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cord's daughter. And she's good too. She is gorgeous. She is gorgeous, and she is smart. She is tough. And yeah, she's basically trying to her aunt, like, they're trying to reactivate the OMAC project. I did not expect OMAC to be part of this at all. The one-man Army Corps. But it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Especially when they play it up. But anyway, he wants to activate it. Why? Because they found the Scarab. I'm guessing Ted hit it. They never specify that.
Yeah.
The closer we got was it could be another decoy, is what they said earlier. So my guess is Ted hit it. Is that the vibe you got?
That would make the most sense.
So
Yeah.
basically we find out that Ted and Dan Garrett. Dan Garrett actually had work for him, which in the comics, it only worked partially for him. It didn't bond to him like it did here. But here, and then Ted's study never worked for him, but he's a parent of the Blue Beetle, but he's missing. And that's all we get from that, but his legacy is so felt. Now, unfortunately, Victoria Cord, she basically she and their father created Cord Industry. And Ted, because their father was sexist, gave it to him, and he tried to do what he can to fix it. But once he disappeared, Victoria decided to make it a weapons place again, and it's besmirched the Cord name. They are infamous. It's like everyone's bad-mouthing them because they're trying to push all the poor people away. But again, that doesn't come out beyond when it's brought up. Did you notice that as well?
Yeah.
But and then Jen gets the Scarab. She gets it, gets out there, gives it
She
to
hides it in her lunchbox.
well, in a lunchbox.
In a lunchbox.
A burger holder, and then gives it to Jaime, and it's just like, here. And of course, like, she gave you a burger. I don't think it's a burger, idiot. The family interaction is so good.
Yeah.
Especially when they just egg him on to look at it. But then, what they do, I'll be honest, the music sometimes ruins some of the sequences. Like, that bit when it changed, I liked it better in the trailer where it was a dramatic music, not this goofy music playing on when it happened. Did it feel a little off, too? Like, that musical choice in that particular scene felt like it should have been more dramatic, not goofy.
Understandable.
But anyway, Kajida,
Kajida.
love her.
Very
The
good.
AI for her was great, and she has an arc.
She does.
But but yeah, activates it. We go through all this crazy stuff. Like, no, what are you doing? You're kidnapping me.
It's a series of startup tests.
Exactly. And nothing much comes of it though. Afterwards, as far as him destroying the bus, you don't get much of that. I think I sliced the bus in half, and then also I do like how when he went looking for Jen, and then it's like he just finds her the next scene. I did not expect that. Did you? I expected that to take longer. Now, boom, there she is. And But yeah, they get there and then they realize we need a way to get rid of the Scarab. The only place to go is to, well, we find out later, the Beetle Cave. And under the court estate. But to do that, they have to get the watch, which we didn't find out. This is what we find about Uncle Rudy. He has this device, and it, like Jen and Jaime, I didn't think it was going to work. Did you? I thought it was going to just not work at all, just blow up in their face.
I thought it was going to work, but not necessarily in the way that Rudy intended.
Yeah, but it turned out it did. He overrided the system, the security, put on this weird cartoon, which is what the post-credit sequence is going to be, and then he, they got in, they got the watch, which again, that was quick. I was expecting something a bit more complicated, but it's like, nope, just need the watch. And then we get the first fight with Carapax.
Yeah.
Carapax was an interesting villain who only got more interesting towards the end. At the beginning, he's just this.
Just kind of seems like the burly guy.
Yep, the tank, the heavy. But yeah, they have a good fight as he uses the rougher version of the Olmec armor. And this is during the bit where Kaji does say, like, let's kill, like, we should kill him. No, we don't kill, I don't kill. I knew that was going to come up into play later.
Yeah.
And then they get away, they make their way to Ted Core's estate, and that's where we find out about it. And yeah, I mean, Jen, the romance, it's a typical Speedy romance, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty typical,
But the chemistry between the two actors was good.
Yeah, and they made it work into the themes pretty well later on.
Exactly. And then, but then it turns out Core decided, they figure out it's Jaime, so they go in up the family. Did they figure out how we did that? Did we find out how they knew it was Jaime? Or did they say it's just a case of like, they just found out somehow?
Honestly, I just subbed it in where it would not be hard at all to really crunch the data to figure something like that out. Just given how much data is available on the internet, I feel like that didn't need too much in-depth explanation.
Yep, and then the sequence of them busting into the household, the family household, get them. Yeah, let's be honest, that was also a little heavy-handed how it was shot. It was clearly shot to replicate family, people going in and taking, illegal immigrants out. It kind of had that strong vibe, didn't it? The way it was shot.
I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah. Again, it wears the politics on its sleeve in some scenes, but again, it still works in the scene itself. It's
Yes.
like if you didn't know the director, you wouldn't see it. If you read the director's tweets, it's painfully obvious. But then Jaime shows up and fights, and I love it. Like, we kill him. No, we don't kill. Which is it. Like Kaji does finally accept it. Like, all right, very well. I guess like it. Kaji doesn't even argue after that point. It's like, all right. And it's another good fight, but they get the better of Jaime.
Yeah.
And Mosey he could have taken him down, but then his dad had his heart attack.
Oh yeah, and it's like it even showed it in the particular HUD where it's just like cardiac arrest. It's just like, oh no.
I know, and then the house is burning down.
Yeah.
From a small candle.
That got knocked over on the struggle.
And then it started building up, and poor Algro, just having to cry and crying for her mom and everything to help. And then I kept thinking he was going to survive. I kept thinking he was going to pull through, but it's like, once we see him go, oh, I'm like, oh, God, no. Then he's locked up. And this is where I get Nana's eyes. We're going to go get him. And that's where we get the bug. We got the bug. I love seeing the bug. And we get all these cool weapons and everything, including a power glove, an actual Nintendo power glove. I'm surprised they didn't say I love the power glove. It's so bad. That's why they didn't do it. It's so bad line. I'm surprised they did it, but it's awesome. And they set this little chewy gum thing, which we don't know what it does exactly until later. And that one I think that was a little bit of a poor setup, wouldn't you say? It was like, we don't know exactly what it does until it happens. That felt a little... Would you agree? Like, it could have been done better. It wasn't horrible.
Yeah, it could have been done a little bit better.
Especially once we got the payoff. But then, so they realized we gotta go inside, we gotta blow the place, blow the generator to get Jaime out. And again, just bad as I said, like, I remember Stormy Fortresses like this. But yeah, so they go in there, and during this, Jaime, he's being pushed to death because they're trying to copy the data from the Scarab to improve the Omen. And in there, when he's about near death, he sees his dad.
Yeah.
That was more like, and he said earlier scene, basically saying, everyone's destiny is to get you to a moment. And then he said, my moment, this is my moment. Not dying to encourage him, no, to be in the afterlife when Jaime was near death.
Yeah.
Tell him, this is not your time. That, I did not expect. I've rarely seen stuff like that where the person being in the afterlife, that's what helps out, like saying, this was my moment.
Yeah.
When they acknowledge this was my moment. Usually it's the case where they just happen to be there. It's like, no, in this case he realizes this is my fate. My whole life was for this moment. And he tells them, and that's when Jaime and Kajita, they start to bond. Finally, they reach perfect symbiosis. Right when the generator goes off. Okay, the other thing, we've had this one guy. She kept calling him Sanchez, even though that's not his name. That kind of got a little stale, I think. You know what I mean? It was meant to spell up for him, the betrayer. I gotta be honest, that Smith felt, if it was meant to be have this gravitas, it felt flat, in my opinion. In my opinion, it felt a little flat. It just felt, again.
I didn't really pay attention as much to it, probably because it did repeat.
It did repeat, but it felt like, again, I know I'm growing up with the politics, but it just felt like the white woman can't even get his name right. And then he's like, I'm done with it. My name is Jose. And then he gets killed. It's like this great moment and he dies. It's just like, you know, like who didn't see that coming, right? I mean, it was so obvious he was going to die once he got Jaime out. And then Kajita is still trying to reboot. And like, oh, come on! And then he makes it back to there, thanks to Nana. And then we have the mother tell him to go kick their asses in Spanish. And then what does Kajita the moment she reactivates? Repeat, kick their asses in Spanish, just like the mom said. I'm like, yes! And they kick ass. And then we get the big fight with the Olmec. It was a good fight.
It was a really good fight.
It's not like one of the Marvel fights where it's so damn quick. No, this had a good length to it. Not too long, not too short.
And they end up using a lot of the things that were established about it earlier in a very creative way to make some interesting fight choreography.
Yep. And then to the point where Rudy's trying to help him. And then you see he got killed. And Jaime did. It was all obvious from us he didn't.
Yeah.
And then even before they revealed he was fine, that one was so blatant. Like,
yeah,
he just jumped out of the way. He ain't dead.
Uh-huh.
But then Jaime goes into killer mode.
Yes.
And that leads to a bit where he actually wins. And at the same time, Jen, who got abducted by Victoria, she uses the gum to bring down the chopper they're on. But then Kajita stops Jaime.
Yeah.
That I love.
I loved it because it brought it full circle.
And the moment it was happening, I'm like, she's saying like he's incapacitated, and Jaime, he's incapacitated. But he's like, Jaime, please. And then, I mean, once that happened, I'm like, she's gonna stop. But beforehand, I'm like, Carapax was not responsible for his dad's death, so he doesn't have that lust for revenge. But then when we saw Rudy happen, that's when I'm like, oh boy, I know what. That was when I realized where it was going. Because before you knew it, was like he has no lust for revenge against Carapax. He didn't kill his dad. But you get Rudy, you're like, oh no. But then we get the, I guess, a bit, as much as like Carapax's backstory, too little, too late.
Yeah.
It's like, when I bonded him, here's his backstory. And basically, he was a child soldier, raised by Cord, and I guess all the pain made him block his memories. Is that what they were implying?
Yeah, something like that. Or sort of
I remember.
repressing memories due to trauma.
Exactly. His mother died from a bombing. Never said exactly why. And then Cord basically said sacrifices must be made. And then he walks up to Cord, grabs her, and pulls her into the fire, and then blows up with her. And she's like, "No, not me." Again, there was nothing good about it. I love Susan Sarandon. She was wasted here. You know what I mean? She was just wasted. Her death even felt a little. His death felt good. Hers just felt like just flailing around. He's pulling her into the fire. It's like, I'm sorry, that is the weakest part. It's Victoria Cord. But again, he blows up, and then the family. And then we had this moment earlier. Nana said, "You don't cry yet." And then she says, "Now we cry." and then they all start growing. That was good. And we have this great bit where, because they see their house got destroyed, the neighborhood show up just to help them feel better. And then Victoria said, I'm going to, we're going to get things repaired. She's taking over again. She and Jaime hook up.
Yeah.
And and then there's a post-credit revealing that Ted is alive and leaving a message for his daughter. I like that. Sets it up that we can have Ted show up and help.
Yeah.
And then we didn't stick around for the post-credit, but I looked up online. It's just that little animation thing, nothing more. There's no Superman, no nothing like that. But again, it did overall. I give it a strong 8.
I would agree with that. In a market and in a general genre that is oversaturated with a lot of samey stuff, this movie does a lot of things that are different and unique. And I think that's
different even from Shazam. Even from Shazam, it's different enough.
Yeah, because it's just like...
Because Shazam played it safe, let's be honest. Shazam played it safe. Mm-hmm. It was about family, but it was still superhero. This one...
We had...
more emphasis on the family.
Yeah, it's like the family was absolutely critical to the whole thing.
Exactly. And again, the problems are there. Like I said, if you're a person who's going to get triggered by that type of stuff, and just put up with it for a little bit, what would you say the point would you say it started to get better? Once he got the Scarab? No, it was once he and Jen went out with Rudy.
Yeah.
That's the moment it flipped the switch. There was almost no politics, none of that stuff from that point on.
Well, I suppose not necessarily no politics,
no
but no ham-handed politics.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Feel like being precise with our language in this discussion is kind of important.
Well, okay, I meant the heavy-handedness of it. No heavy-handed. Yeah. Oh, we have the rich and all that. Again, that was so front-loaded in the beginning. I mean.
Yeah, it was definitely one part of their conversations that did not feel very organic.
No, it did not. It felt like the director, who also, I think, worked on the script, just wanted to put that in there because he's this proud Latino, and yet he just wanted to be this all stick it to, and all. Oh, yeah, there's a point where Nana said, down with imperialists. But it worked because she's remembering her old days.
Yeah.
I can accept that one because she's shooting everything down with imperialists. Let's be honest, Court is being an imperialist. But again, it has its problems. Is it the most perfect movie? No. Okay, here's a big question. How does this compare to Shazam 2?
I'd say it's roughly on par with
Maybe a little bit better.
Maybe a little bit better, yeah.
Because sorry about that. Ran out of space on my phone. As we were saying, though, Shazam 2 definitely had the better villains with the sisters.
Yes, but I feel like Blue Beetle definitely had the overall better plot and theming.
Exactly.
It a lot better.
It was closer to Shazam 1's plot and theming, I would say.
Yeah.
Where that one was definitely more about family stronger than the second one. And again, the flaws are noticeable, but you're able to look past them. It's easy to look past them. It might dwell with you, like it's been dwelling with me, but the good overweighs it, in my opinion.
Me too.
Like I said, a very strong 8. Go out and see it. And like I said, this is going to be how the heavy-handedness of the politics aside. If this is how it's going to be for the DCU, James Gunn's DCU, which is supposed to be technically one of the first, I say, I want more like this.
Yeah.
The changes were done here made sense. For the lore. It was still closer enough than they changed.
I will say one bit I appreciated is them talking about just how the job hunt feels after college. That part felt very
real. Yep, definitely. And I love how he's like, aren't you going for your mattress? I put my family further in the debt? Nah. And apparently he went for pre-law. You know what he wanted to be in the comics? A dentist. Why? Dentist makes enough money to get by, be able to help out with the family. I like that better, you know what I mean? Just this whole idea of his dream. His biggest dream is to be a dentist. And this is what the thing. It was supposed to show his inner desires. And you're supposed to turn into a monster. No, it's a dentist. It's like, what? How could this be? You got me. Think about it. a dentist. I'd be able to make a good, like, however many figures of salary. I'd be able to help out with a lot of girl stuff, help pay off the mortgage for my parents. It's like, hey, it feels like something similar with this Jaime. Probably wanted to go into law or pre-law at the very least, hoping to be a lawyer to help the family. I wouldn't be surprised. I still love, even from the trailer, I still love that whole, like, you think he's the owner of that pool, and then it's like, Mr. Reyes, coming. I still love that from the trailer. That was a great fake out. It was an obvious fake out.
But it was funny nonetheless.
Again, go out and see it. You'll enjoy it. Put your politics aside. Don't try and make this more than it is. Because it is fun. Overall, like I said, 90% of it is a good movie. The 10% is a loud 10%, which is that a good way of putting it?
Yeah.
It's a painfully loud 10%, but it's easy enough to get past. So go out and enjoy it, and go out and watch it. Go and enjoy it, and we'll see you all in the next one. Take care.